Natalie Kunzman, MD, and today we are talking about stress. So stress is either a physiologic or a biological reaction in an organism, which is in response to a stressor, such as an environmental condition. And stress seems to be the body's method of reacting to the condition, such as a threat, a challenge, or a physical or psychological barrier. So this is good for short-term fixes, such as running away or fighting, but it is not good for a long-term fix. The autonomic nervous system that we have and the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis are the two major systems that respond to the stress situation. So, symptoms of stress. They are varied, so what I'm giving you is a list that may not be complete but may resonate with many of you. You can get jaw and tooth pain. You can get hair loss and hair changes, stomach aches and intestinal problems, which are very common. You can get muscle twitching. You can get acne breakouts. You can get a consistent, over again, illness, such that you're susceptible to a lot of colds. You can get other skin rashes and manifestations. For some of us women, we can get even worse period cramps. We can start developing abdominal fat from the cortisol levels. We can get headaches, which are super common, even to a degree, bleeding gums, back pain, fatigue, and a lot of cardiac symptoms, which a lot of us are aware of, such as a fast or a very hard heartbeat. Then, of course, we have some of the very common psychological symptoms, such as panic and panic attacks. We can get a lot of muscle tension. And in fact, for instance, stress is becoming a very well-known big factor for being at risk for heart disease or heart attacks. And part of that risk goes hand in hand with some of the bad habits people pick up to deal with stress, which actually will make it worse in the long run, but will be smoking, drinking to excess, taking drugs, overeating, withdrawing, and avoiding help. So, to explain one of the ways that stress can create heart attacks is that the stress response from the environment will activate our amygdalas, and that amygdala will actually go to the bone marrow, and it will go after some of the progenitor cells in the bone marrow to release some of those pro-inflammatory monocytes that will create the pro-inflammatory cytokines that will actually circulate, get into the arterial wall, and promote atherogenesis formation and inflammation, which is the key trigger that will start the cascade of events to block an artery. So I honestly can't name one health condition that doesn't have a component of stress that may have triggered it, caused it, unlocked the epigenetic door, or aggravates it. And I would say probably the most devastating effect of stress is to the suppression of the immune system. And not only is that immune system there to fight infections, but it is also to modulate inflammation, as we just heard in the atherogenesis in the artery. But an intact immune system must fight off cancer cells. And to not fight off cancer cells is a pro-carcinogenic or a pro-cancer causing situation. Now, also, we've found that psychological stress in mice studies can affect a tumor's ability to grow and spread. And there are chemical factors released to measure that. Now, also, chakras can experience trauma resulting from the stress that might be physical, emotional, or energetic stress. And then stress can affect that energetic fabric of the chakra. And if it is not healed, you may be left with an energetic scar that will affect the function of your chakra. And that's just one of the energetic systems that we have. And I think some of the tactics that we have to relieve stress are almost limitless, and therefore there's something for everyone. And of course, that means it can be individualized. So obviously, we need to take care of the big protoplasmic effects of stress, so that if you have a blocked artery, a tumor, or a stroke, obviously we need to take care of those big conditions. Then we may deal with any of the chemistry that might be in trouble, such as diabetes, or inflammatory markers, or cortisol, or serotonin, or poor gut immunity and bacterial balance, or the pineal needing help with sleep regulation. And we also may need to go after the hormonal surging and dopamine as some of the neurochemicals. But see, then there is also the energetic systems affected that may need literally some hands-on balancing work with the body, meridians, and chakras. So helping our auric field and the surrounding energetic cocoon that we live in is part of our stress reduction techniques. And then there's what I call spirit or mind, which governs our whole existence and provides essentially the context of your life and who you are, and it actually runs the machinery of our human biofield and our human body. So that also may need repairing in the stress response. So let's get into the ways to relieve and fix stress. So why don't we start with spirit? Spirit is that way to start, and it may include things such as leading a healthier life, taking control over your life, expanding your support circle, and this is really key. And also maybe connecting to the world, because loneliness is a huge stressor. And then maybe if we could get a feel or work on a sense of purpose. So that is the spirit fix with stress reduction. Then we have the energy work. So the energy work in helping with stress reduction is to get some training in relaxation, meditation, stress management in regards to maybe some guided imagery, and focused breathing. Then, of course, there's one of my favorites, which is pulse DMF, potentially some of the Rife frequencies, and sound therapy, and sound healing, and NES systems, Reiki, acupuncture, acupressure, and again, those are all in the energy field of helping to fix and reduce our stress. So we also have aromatherapy, and aromatherapy works because it affects our limbic system. And these are not fully comprehensive, but aromatherapy such as lavender, sweet basil, vetiver, patchouli, jasmine, which is probably one of my favorites, bergamot, lemon, and several others. So we've dealt with energy, we dealt with aromatherapy, we worked with spirit, now we need to work on some chemistry potentially. So here's one chemical fix, and that's avoidance. Let us avoid alcohol, caffeine, and nicotine. That will only aggravate the stress response. Of course, chemistry, medications for depression, anxiety, which can abort some of the effects that stress has on the body. Those are as a last resort. But exercise, which is helpful in the energetic realm, is also helpful in the chemistry realm because it will help oxygenate our tissue to our brain and will also get our endorphins going. as far as some other chemical herbal supplementation, again, this is not comprehensive, but lavender as well, kava kava, passion flower, GABA, lemon balm, turmeric. Those are all very helpful in helping with the stress response. Then again, of course, we may need some hormonal balancing. And as I often tell some of us women, progesterone is our yin balance to that yang fire of estrogen. And many times we need that balanced out. Oxytocin is the love hormone, and that gets secreted in our brains. But it also gets secreted when we have human touch, which is hugging and being around our people and holding hands. And this also can help with some L-theanine at the adrenal level. Also, if we could rest, sleep, talk to someone professionally, or creating our inner circles, that will be beneficial as well. Again, stress, big interplays between it and our human illnesses. I'm Natalie Kunzman, MD. Subscribe to my channel below. And until we meet again, be well.